All right, we're live. This is episode 18 of the Pro Go Baduk Weiqi podcast. I am Xiao Dai, and again we have
Gaza.
Gaza. Gaza. It's been another fairly hectic week in Weiqi. Yeah, let's get into it. So
Yeah.
last week we covered the first 3 rounds of the 2022 Jia League. All right, and Kerje only managed to get one win out of it, out of two.
Is that right? He only won once.
I do believe so. I think he lost his first 2 games. Yeah,
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah,
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 and
yeah.
then he only won, and then he got put off the main player spot. So let's we're not gonna go through every single match this time because just more rounds, but I want to just go through the key ones. All right. So let's look at the round 4 results, Gaza. Now round 4 we have Li Weiqing taking on Sin Jin So. All right, and then we got and then we have what do we have here? And then we got Wang Xinghao playing Li Qingcheng, and then we got Kim Ji Sok playing again. Now, what's of course the most notable thing about this round was when Shanghai Zheng Chao played Hangzhou, Li Weiqing beat Xin Jin So. This is
Oh
crazy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
massive,
That's a
hey.
huge result. Yeah. Like obviously Shinjin. So at the time he was 1-1. He didn't play the first round, and he he lost his actual first game in the second round.
Yeah.
Then he won the third round game, and so this is his second loss already.
Yeah. So at this point, Xin Jin So is one for 3. All right, so that's crazy. So and by this point, Li Weijing has already won 4 games, 4-0 in the main player spot. So he's been playing tough players and he's been winning all of them. So that's crazy. Now, so another big thing was, of course, we talk about Shenzhen. But Shenzhen obviously brought in Park Junhwan and Kerje into their team, and we were really expecting big things from them. But of course, Kerje lost 2 games in the first 3 rounds, so Kerje is not playing the main player spots. So he gets a win against Wang Zheyu, and Park Junhwan won against Wang Shou. This is a pretty weak team, the Shanghai Qingyi. So it's a youth team. I think none of their players are over 19. So they're very, very young. So they're just a bit inexperienced. Oh, by the way, even though Li Weiqing beat Xin Jin So, Shanghai Zhen Chao didn't get a point because Xin Jin So was the only guy who lost.
That's almost criminal to
Yeah,
beat Shinjin So and your team gets no points out of it.
yeah, yeah,
That's 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 pretty bad.
yeah,
Unfortunately, yeah, Wang Jinghao, the other top player
yeah,
on Shanghai Zhenchao,
yeah,
was not able to beat Li Qingcheng.
yeah. I, I,
Um,
I think we've talked about this before because Shanghai Zhenchao really depends on Li Juiqing and Wang Xinghao winning. If they don't, they're in a bit of trouble. Yeah,
yeah,
they really have a good strong third and fourth player. Um, so nothing much else that we wanted to cover in this round. Let's just quickly scan through the results. Of course, we got Shin Min Jun. He's doing reasonably okay this year. Xie Hao is doing okay, but Kim Ji Sok is really having a terrible, terrible start. He's basically 0 for 4, right? 0.
yeah.
And
Interesting that he didn't play in the main spot, presumably because for some reason, like Kim Young Hoon, um, for Beijing
yeah,
is in the main spot, and so they're both Korean,
yeah,
and in Jia League, Koreans can't play each other. Imports can't play each other.
yeah.
So one
So
of them had to step down from the main spot, and I guess it was Kim Ji Sok.
yeah, I'm really not sure because I think like I cannot be sure, but I think by convention the team on the left is the one that kind of takes precedence. So yeah, um, so I think they just didn't put Kim Ji Sok in the main player spot.
Yeah, I
So
guess.
yeah, I guess so. Um, so uh, I think Ding Hao's doing quite okay. He plays for Hangzhou Dragon, and then uh, that's pretty much round 4. So let's go skip ahead and look at what's happening in round 5. But before we do that, let's look at some picks. Let's see if there's any interesting popping up in the picks. So this is the Korean imports playing in Korea with their computers. And this is in China, in Zhejiang, Changxing. They can play. See, Shenzhen is still in their red uniform. The other guys are maybe wearing like a suit, but then like with runners as their shoes. That's interesting. Okay. Bunch of people taking pictures. It's Fanting you over here. Oh, that's near Weiqi visiting.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Shaker. He's probably wearing runners as well. So that's Lee Jit-hoon over here in the corner.
Yeah, I'm wondering, when you see the stream from the Korean side, there's a lot of equipment in that one room.
Yeah.
Must be tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Oh, it's a professional setup there for a TV station. In China, they not so much. Yeah, so in China it's always like this. Just play like this. Okay. I wonder what this camera thing here. Maybe it's a key-free recorder or something.
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah.
Sting Hao. Alright, so that's some picks from round 4. And of course, let's look at round 5 results. Now, round 5. This is where we see Yama Yuta making an appearance.
Oh yes,
yeah.
yes. So I remember saying in last week's podcast it was going to be round 6, but I forgot that. I knew what day it was. I knew what day of the week it was, but I forgot that there was a rest day.
Yeah.
So it was actually round 5.
Yeah.
I think it was this was Monday.
Yeah.
And I think he was playing in the main player spot for his team. Who's his team?
I don't think so. I don't think he was. Maybe. Was he? No, he wasn't.
Oh, no, he wasn't. So he plays for Zhejiang.
Yeah.
And he was playing Dang Yifei.
Yeah, Dang Yifei.
Is Deng Yifei a former Samsung Cup winner?
LG Cup.
Oh, LG Cup.
And BC Card Cup finalist.
Yes. Yes. He did win the LG Cup in 2017.
Yeah. Now, just a bit of a trivia about Dang Yifei. I do believe he was ranked somewhere around the 20-something in China when he won the LG Cup. So that was quite
yeah. But he's been a strong player for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Relative to a lot of the younger Chinese players, but
yeah.
I think let's see, he's still very high rated.
Yes,
he's actually rated on Go ratings. He's rated 12th.
Yeah, is definitely one of the strongest players in China at the moment.
Yeah. So that's why I was a little bit surprised that he wasn't on the main player board.
Well,
but who's them?
Look at the main player.
Oh, Fanting you.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So Chengdu has got a very strong team.
Yeah. All 4 of those players are very strong.
Yeah, very strong players. So Yamauta didn't get a run in the main player spots, but he lost. I do believe it wasn't that great of a game for Yama. I think he just fell behind.
Well, yeah, I do remember there was a comment. There was a comment on the subreddit saying they hoped for a closer game.
Yeah.
In the Yama game, and it really was. He entered a fight that. My guess is that it was neither player was able to read it out too deep.
Yeah.
I've really got no idea because my reading ability pales in comparison to theirs. But I imagine that they entered a fight where it was unclear who was going to come out on top, and then when sort of everything became clearer, Ayama was down by like 12 points already.
Yeah. And
he just couldn't find a way back into the contest.
And if I recall correctly, it was almost like a a death by 1,000 cuts for Yama, because I don't think he made any move that, where AI has assessed that he dropped by 10, 20, 30 points. It was more like it dropped 3% here, 3% here, 3% here, 5%
Yeah,
there,
exactly.
and then
Yeah.
at the end it just wasn't enough. I just remember Emma playing a couple of fairly weird shapes like two Kamers that's like very close to each other, and it just didn't work out for him. But of course, we were expecting big things from Yama because of his Nongshim Cup performance, and also because he was the only player with a perfect record in last year's Jia League. He got 2 out of 2, beating Ding Hao and Xie Ke. But it wasn't to be. His record is not going to be perfect this year. So, yeah.
No, and this is actually his first loss ever in Jar League because
Right,
I'm pretty sure last year was his first time
right.
participating in the Jar League.
Yeah, it's kind of
And
amazing. Yeah,
yeah, a lot of Ayama fans would be disappointed with that, but Deng Yifei is a very formidable opponent,
yeah.
and
So I guess
anyone can lose, anyone can have a bad day and lose, and
yeah. So not a great day for Yama, but I mean he did. So now, so and then we have Sin Jin So popping up again. Now remember, Sin Jin So was 1 for 3 so far. So what they have done is they didn't actually put Sin Jin So on the main player spot this round. So Sin Jin So ended up playing. Xie Ke ended up playing the main player spot. So Sin Jin So ended up playing this
and
person Li Shengyu, which
I got to
is
say this is quite disappointing because I remember a couple of months ago.
yeah
When Li Junhao he won the King of Kings,
yeah
and he also won what he also won another tournament, didn't he?
he won the Lanka Chuzhou Lanka Cup
Oh
domestic.
yeah, the Chuzhou Lanka Cup,
Yeah,
and and apparently Shinjin So when he went on Fox,
yeah,
he went on Fox to watch Li Junhao
yeah,
play,
yeah,
and now a couple of months later, their teams are playing each other,
yeah.
and but Shinjin So isn't playing Li Junhao.
No,
I mean, I really would have liked to see this. You know, I guess for the Hangzhou management decided that Shinjin So, with his 2 losses already,
uh,
was maybe they wanted to give him an easy game,
yeah,
um, to get his confidence back.
yeah,
I've really got no idea, but
yeah,
I really wanted to see Shinjin So versus Li Junhao.
yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Now I can't remember which round it was, but after one of the rounds, the coach for Hangzhou, he gave an interview. I believe his name's Wang Tao or something, or Wang Yang. Or, I can't remember. Yeah, Wang Tao, maybe his name. And he was saying that Sun Jin So is not in great form, this year. So he wanted to put Xie Ke in the main player spot more to prepare Xie Ke, and Xie Ke did play quite well in the main player spot, and you know showed some of the responsibilities that Sun Jin So used to have. So that's what he said. So I think for some reason, 1 out of 3 for Sin Jin So is considered pretty bad. They would consider.
I do find it quite humorous that losing to Mi Yuting and Li
Yeah,
Weiqing
yeah,
is considered poor form.
yeah. Wow. I mean, you gotta like Sin Jin So is by far the highest rated player. Now this game was very interesting. I wanted to show you this Sin Jin So versus Li Shengyu game. Obviously, no deep commentary for me. So Li Shengyu is white, Sin Jin So is black. I just want to show you the part where they start building a huge memorial in the middle. So Sin Jin So was, I think, assessed by AI to be a little bit behind. So there's some dead groups down here. So Sin Jin So decides that he's gonna build a moyo down here. It's quite a formidable moyo. So, but I find this very interesting. So when white cut, of course white can capture the black stone and then cut here. So by this time, I think one of these black groups will have to go, I guess. And then Sin Jin So decides to play over here, just throw in, and ended up in Gote and let white capture it. So I thought by this point, this mojo is like half broken already. And I think very soon, according to AI, Li Li Xiangyu is actually leading, but maybe not by enough points. So yeah, by this point I thought if White can just cut through something here, and if we do some counting, Xin Jinso might have some issues. But to Xin Jinso's credit, I think he kept the game really close, even though he kind of knows he's behind, and he managed to cut White off. And
Actually, if you go back,
yeah,
I do recall, that Tiger's Mouth move.
Yeah.
AI, I believe, considered that to be the losing move.
Right.
For White.
Yeah.
Apparently, White didn't need to.
Yeah. Well.
Play that. I'm not sure why, but
it feels like it's a game of chickens. Like Xin Jinso, obviously, when he played here, he says, "I'm gonna cut here and then capture these ones or whatever." It's kind of like comes down to assessment and also counting and just your general skill level. But it's very clear what Xin Jinso trying to do is like you have two choices: one let me cut here, one let me do here. But
it's like it's like Xin Jinso is sort of bluffing.
Yeah.
Li Zhangyu a little bit, and Li Zhangyu sort of, I guess, fell for it.
Yeah.
And then Xin Jinso says, "Well, now I'm going to cut you off here."
Yeah.
And you've given me too many points now.
Yeah, and I think it might be just because he's in Bayomi as well. Because if I look at Black's war here, like there does seem to be, some connection issues. Maybe White can break through. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. But that's what White did, try to break through. Atari here, come out here, Atari, but it just got too messy. I think he lost a bit of composure at some point, like just play moves that just didn't do very much for him, and ended up just losing. But Xin Jinso he almost lost. I think according to AI, I think he was below 10% at some point, if I recall correctly. So because his Moyo was trying to broken into. But anyway, almost. If Xin Jinso had lost this game, that would have been huge news. But he came back strong.
He does have a habit of coming back from
yes
from the depths.
Yes, 100%.
I will say it says a lot about the opponent when they can hold off a Xin Jinso end game sort of trickery.
Yeah, like it almost feels like he also plays mind games as well, like just like what we saw there. But two disappointments: Xin Jinso didn't get to face Li Xuanhao, and Xin Jinso almost lost to a youngster who's probably not that famous anyway. But hey, that's what happened. And
he didn't even play Yang Dingjin. Dingjin was. Oh, so that's another missed opportunity. He didn't even get to play Yang Dingjin.
No. Now in this round, Kerje have won another game, but this time Kerje also didn't play in the main player spot. I believe it's still Park Junhwan who's in the main player spot. So
I believe Park Junhwan lost.
Yeah, Park Junhwan lost to Xia Hao. But Shenzhen still came out strong with 3 points. So So but people feel like Kerje maybe is recovering, but Kerje has always been playing in the non-main player spot, is meeting players that are probably not of the caliber of someone like Dang Yifei. So Kerje has had a few wins out of that. Both of
Xin Jinso's wins were against quite weak players.
Yeah,
relatively speaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we should look at Li Weiqi again because he's the talk of the town, because he won again, but this time against Hu Zhao. Now, Beijing put out Hu Zhao in the main player spot. This is obviously a tactic to try and waste kind of Li Weiqi's win on the weakest player on their team, and also just give the youngster a bit of experience. But obviously it didn't work out. It almost worked, but Beijing got 1 point out of it.
You could almost say that it worked, because if they didn't feel that they could beat Wang Jinghao or Li Weiqi, then to get 2 wins and to get a point is the best they could have hoped for.
Yeah, so I mean that's clearly their strategy. It kind of worked a little bit. They got 1 point out of it, so it's not totally terrible. So
No.
that's round 5, and then we go to round 6. Another incredible results. So we got the old foes, old nemesis, Kerje and Chen Yaoye playing again. Of course, they have a bit of a history, haven't they?
Oh, I mean, Chen Yaoye was the first player to beat Koji
He's the
in a
OG.
world final.
Yes, yes.
And what was that?
I was saying Chen Yaoye is the OG in beating KJ.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I don't remember which tournament it was that Chen Yaoye.
Might have been Tianfu Cup.
No, no, I believe that he beat Shinjin So in the Tenfu Cup.
Oh, Chen Yaoye. It might be the
Was it the
Bailing.
Was
Was
it
it
the
Bailing? I think either the Bailing or M Lily, because I do believe Chen Yaoye won
It was
three
the
one.
Bailing Cup.
Yeah.
It was
I
the
think
Bailing Cup.
yeah.
Yep.
Chen Yaoye won 3-1. Yeah.
Yes.
And of
And
course,
yeah, and he actually has. I believe he does have a plus record against Koje.
right.
One of the few players with significant games played to have a positive record against Koje.
Yeah.
And I think he also beat him earlier this year.
Yeah.
So
I believe it's in the Big Player Bay Area Cup. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, he's and it's. I'm a big fan of Chen Yaye, but like even though he's won 3 world titles, I always think that he's seen at his best. He can beat anyone. He could beat Shinjin So, Park Junhwan, Koje. In fact, he actually beat all 3 of them once in the same tournament. I
Yeah.
think it was the Bailing Cup,
Right. Yeah.
which is pretty crazy. And I feel that he also, I think he turned pro at like 10.
Right.
Yes, he was 10 when he
Right.
turned pro, one of the youngest ever.
Yeah.
Um, you always wonder, like he probably could have won like 10 world titles with just a little bit more consistency.
Yeah. Now you also have to remember the first time I've heard of Chen Yaoye was when he made the final of the LG Cup versus Guli. I think it might have been 2006. It might have been.
Yeah, he did. Yes.
Yeah. So he was like 16 or something back then, and he almost beat Guli, to peep Guli to the first international title. So after that, I thought Chen Yaoye was destined for great things. I thought he would be another Guli kind of thing, but he ended up just winning 3. But still, that's really impressive achievement.
Yeah, yeah. He made the LG Cup final in 2006, and then it took him 7 years to actually win his first world title.
Right.
After
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Yeah, it's hard to say that someone who's won 3 world titles is underachieved, but
Yeah.
he's such a good player.
Yeah. 100%. It's extremely territorial. Yeah. So it's I just want to show the game a little bit. Like basically in this game, Chen Yaoye is black, Kerje is white. So as you can see here, this black group is not alive, but it's kind of cut off some white groups. This white group is also not alive. It's about to be cut off. But if you look at the whole board, so white's got 1 corner, 2 corners, 3 corners, and a little bit on the side, and attacking his middle group. So if white can successfully, attack this middle group, and maybe it's maybe even enough if white somehow just gives up, sacrifice this white group. Like if you can, white can do it in a good way. Like imagine if white captures this but lets this go, and they're roughly equal, then white will be ahead just because white's got more territory elsewhere. But I think as the game progressed, it looks like that Kerje wanted to have everything. So he ended up making a code to save this group, and basically according to the pro commentary, even though Kerje managed to save this group, make it live, he has to make it live by winning this code. So it just ended up wasting too much resources and try to win this co, and basically ended up having not enough points. But Kerje, I believe, was again above 90 something percent. If Kerje had just tried to take on a simpler role of just attacking the black group and sacking it, that would have been the right strategy. But ended up losing too many points in the process. So Kerje lost again from a great position. So it seems to be a little bit of a pattern for Kerje. So this means that because Kerje played in the main player spot, that means Kerje yet again have lost in the main player spot. Kerje have so far played in the main player spot 3 times, and he's lost all 3 games.
That's shocking.
Shocking. And to put it into context, Kerje actually won the best main player award last year in the Jia League.
So I believe he only lost 3 games in the regular season last year.
Right, but I think. But last season he played for Beijing, so I think he played in the main player spot all the time. I think.
I believe so.
Yeah, yes. I believe so. And the main player award is probably the most prestigious individual award, even ahead of the MVP. Because if you win a main player award, you can't win the MVP. So the MVP is like the leftover. But anyway, so Kerje has already got 0 wins at the main player spot this year, so a bit of a tough one. Now, in the post-game conference, the coach did say that according to Shenzhen's team rules, Kerje was meant to be taken off the main player spot in the next round, and obviously Park Jun-hwan would go in his place, but let's see if that's what's going to happen next round. So.
Yeah, I just want to also point out, for those wondering, this is round 6, and Shin Jin-so was rested. He didn't play this round.
Right.
Iyama Yuta also didn't play this round.
Yeah. Now, I think Shin Jin-so was rested for good reason, because I thought because they are playing Kaifeng, which is one of the promoted teams, one of the relegation favorites, they kind of fancied their chances, but actually it didn't go their way. Because Len Xiao and the youngster Li Haotong both lost. So Hangzhou collected 2 points thanks to a Shaker main player win. But they if they had put out Shin Jin-so, they could have picked up extra point. But maybe they just thought the extra point is not worth whatever they pay Shin Jin-so. Maybe I'm not sure. So Shin Jin-so was rested. Okay, so more chances for Shaker to play in the main player spot. So let's just check out some picks again. This is round 5 picks. I do believe round 6 and 7 picks weren't posted. I think they'll be same.
Wait, here we go. Here's Iyama. So this is Iyama's setup.
Yep.
He's obviously still in Japan.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's actually quite a small room. He's there, and then there's sort of some invigilator or someone sitting behind him.
Yeah. I do notice a bottle of water. What if they spill water on the laptop? I do wonder about that sometimes.
I've seen people sometimes spill. I've seen someone spill water on a board while they were actually playing.
Oh.
Or it was like bubble tea or something like that. It was in a Korean game.
Oh, that's not good. So Kerje is drinking some tea down here.
That's Li Qingchen.
Yeah, Liao Yuanhe. Looking up. Li Xuanhao and Shaker.
These guys almost look related.
Yeah.
From that angle, they don't actually look alike at all. But
no, yeah. That's Shin Jin-so. Yama Yuta again.
That's Tao Xinran.
Yeah, on the left. That's Wang Xinghao. Fave.
Nice. Did he win? Did he ever win?
I don't think.
I think he lost in round 5 actually.
Yeah. That's Len Xiao. That's Gu Zihao, thin as a stick, as always. That's Ding Hao, doing his thinking face.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, so let me look at some more picks. That's Kang Dong-yun, Shaker.
Yeah, Kang Dong-yun's having a good Jia League, much better than last season.
Oh yeah, last season he had a shocker. He had a less than 50% record, I do believe.
Yeah. That's
Zhou Ruiyang over here. Thinking really
this year, I've noticed Kang Dong-yun, not only is when he wins, he tends to win quite quickly. Like I I think in 2 rounds in a row, his was the first game to finish, and he won both times.
Very nice.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So that's Kang. So of course, Kang has recently had some really good results. So now on to round 7. Now, as we said last time, I think Luo Shihe, the Shenzhen's coach, said that Ke was meant to be taken off the main player board because I think they set a system where they kind of worked out who plays where. It's like a system, but they kind of broke the rules. They said, Ke lost in the main player board. We're going to put him there just to show that we have confidence in him. So they put Ke in the main player spot again. And Ke faced Xu Jiayang, which is, again, a very, very strong player, born in the year 1999, I believe.
Yes,
and
Xu Young is a very strong player.
Yes, and Ke struggled hard. Like it looked like Ke was not gonna lose again in the main player.
It took a bit of magic to win this, to pull off the win in this one.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of magic of it over here. Now the thing about the game was basically it's kind of a bit strange in a way because it looks like Xu Jiayang just had some kind of misread at some point and somehow it just tried to kill the group and it just wasn't the right choice at all. He tried to kill the group and it didn't work out for him and he just kind of lost. I do want to show you the Kifu because it's quite interesting what he's done. So Xu Jiayang is white over here, Ke is black. So I skip to the bit where Xu Jiayang kind of lost the plot. Okay, so at this point, of course, this is a very complicated situation, and Ke did really well to make the situation very, very complicated. So now, according to AI, Ke was a little bit behind at this point. But anyway, Ke, Atari here, make it complicated. Of course, a white can counter Atari and cut off these 2 stones or whatever. It's like the situation is complex, but supposedly Ke is slightly behind. Now, notice this black group here. Maybe for life and death enthusiasts, maybe we can have a crack at seeing what's happened. But it's actually alive. But for some reason, Xu Jiayang decided to just play inside, trying to kill it. I think that Xu Jiayang just losing the plot. I think he might have had a misread at this point. But obviously, it wasn't dead at all. So Ke just lived with the group, and Xu Jiayang just resigned. Obviously, Xu Jiayang lost a few points by playing inside and letting black live. And that was enough to make Xu Jiayang feel that he just doesn't have enough points to survive this. I think according to AI, I think Ke at this point is like 99%, but still. So it's very interesting how Xu Jiayang just kind of had a misread, played this, and then the game was suddenly just ended. It's just very sudden. Move 137. I thought it was going to go on for a while after Ke made it complicated, but it wasn't to be. So that was very interesting round. And now we have Yama coming to play again. This is his second game in the season, and he played Rongyi.
Now this was another, just like I was disappointed at Shin Jin So not playing Li Junhao.
Yeah.
And I guess also not playing Yang Dingjing.
Yeah.
There was another missed opportunity here. If we have a look at the matchup, Ayama's team.
They could have played, I guess, Ke.
Who is Ayama's team?
There's Zhejiang. I'm trying to see if I can bring it up.
Yeah, Zhejiang.
There we go.
They were playing Shenzhen.
Yeah.
Which is Ke's team. So we could have had Ayama versus Ke, and we didn't.
No.
I would have loved to see Ayama versus Ke. They've played before, but I don't think they haven't played for a while.
No, they haven't.
And
yeah,
it would have been awesome.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. I'm not sure if they think Ayama is the strongest player or strong enough to put so much trust in him to put him in the main player spot, though. To be honest, I I would think they would think that Xu Jiayang is stronger player than Yama.
Right. Well, yeah. So I would have liked to have seen it, but I guess I guess the managers know best.
Yeah.
So he instead obviously he can't play Park Chun Wan because the imports can't play each other. So he was playing Rong Yi,
Yeah.
who is kind of a reserve for Team Shenzhen.
Yeah. So he kind of just rotates with Tao Xingyan a little bit, but of course Rong Yi is a strong player in his own right. But Yama almost had Rong Yi in this game, didn't he? So Yama
Well,
is
I mean, Yama should have won this game.
yeah. So I believe Yama is white, Rong Yi is black, and it was Yama was leading the game 90 something percent. But to Yongyi's credit, even though AI says 90 something percent, it was a Yoseable game, if that makes sense. I mean, it was maybe 2-3 points behind, and then to Yongyi's credit again, he noticed something that Yama didn't, and he played a Tetsuji. So
Yes.
when he played here, I think he's already seen the move. So when he played here, he's actually aiming for a Tetsuji in the middle, which is a great Yosei move.
Yeah. So the thing is,
Yeah.
can White play at the? Why doesn't White play at the dot to save
Yeah.
those 2 stones? Is
Yeah.
that just
I think Yama just thought that somewhere else is bigger. Because normally if black takes, white can take back right away. So it's only have white has only lost 1 stone, and when black Ataris, maybe you can just Tiger's Mouth. So it's
right?
so maybe it's Yama thought it's only 3 points maybe. So he thought this was bigger because so Yama played
Yeah.
here
So
to block
and
it
it
off.
yeah. So it turned out that Black can actually get more than that.
Yes, it turns out that's how Yongyi reversed the game. This is the Tetsuji. So now
Yeah.
now
This is a great move.
this is a great move because I guess the idea is if now black can Atari here, can Atari directly, and then white have to connect back, and black can actually take 3 stones instead of taking 2 right away. That was a bit painful, I think. So yeah, so Yama ended up having to play inside his territory, and see that's exactly what happened. Yama has to connect back. He cannot connect on the outside because of the peep. Yeah, and of course there's still some throw in here. So Yama lost 3-4 points over there, and that's enough to reverse the game. So a bit, yeah, it must.
I mean, this was such a shame for
Yeah.
Ayama,
Yeah.
like because he was winning.
Yeah,
He had this game.
he could have.
He had this game won, and he
Yeah.
missed. He missed this end game to Suji.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
he-
guess he should have just connected. Yeah. It's a
I
shame.
think the problem was allowing that. I think if you go back a few moves,
Yeah.
keep going back about 10 moves.
Yeah.
Oh no, go forward. Sorry,
Yeah.
about move 190. Yeah, yeah.
Disconnection.
No, not that one.
Yeah.
Keep going. That move. No, that move.
Yeah.
Go back one.
Yeah.
That move there.
Yeah.
So what he should have done is the move in the lower left.
Yeah.
If you go forward 4 moves,
Yeah. This move.
that move. He should
Yeah.
have done that move instead of the first line move on
Right.
the bottom right.
Right.
That first I don't think that first line move is very big.
Yeah. So. Right. So he should play there instead of there, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that was the mistake
Right.
that he made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Shame.
yeah, what would happen if he plays there and then
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, then I'm pretty sure then when if black plays that move in the top left,
Atari. Yeah.
where Tari the 2 stones, white can just connect.
Yeah. Right.
And there's white's ahead by half a point. I'm pretty sure white's
Right.
ahead by half a point at that.
Right.
At that point.
Right. So yeah, that's just probably a small Yosei. It's too small, maybe.
Yeah.
I think I think this tells me that even pros, when they face this kind of Yosei and under time pressure, I mean they just don't play perfectly. It's just tough.
Yeah, but I mean, like for someone with experience as experienced as Ziyama, he's won like nearly 80 titles, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, most of them in Japan and a lot of them at long time controls, but
yeah,
still, he's won 80 titles. He's one of the most accomplished players there is.
yeah,
I mean, he's seen it all.
yeah,
To 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 miss a Tsuji like that, I mean, I'd imagine it's it's a pretty gut wrenching experience. Like for me,
yeah,
like for instance, for me as a Q player,
yeah,
I miss Tsujis like that all the time.
yeah,
So it doesn't really bother me that much. I see it as a learning experience. But for him, I mean, that's not the type of learning experience that he's should be having.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just yeah, it's. I think this was a worse loss than the one against Deng Yifei. The one against Deng Yifei, at the very least, it was complex.
Yeah,
You know, it was a complex fight, and in a complex fight, you know, things can go wrong.
yeah,
Right? You can't just. It's impossible to read out things at that stage of the game when they started the fight because there's just so many options.
yeah,
But here it was the end game, right? And
yeah,
he was winning, and he should have really finished the game off. And
yeah,
he missed it. He missed a trick,
yeah,
and it was a pretty local trick as well.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean, he almost had Yongyi, but
like he almost had it, and
Yeah.
I just a bit of a shock, really. I think to not only lose but to lose in that way.
Yeah. But anyway, it wasn't a great match for Zhejiang because they went 0-4. But
they lost all 4 games as well.
yeah. So now, okay, because Kerje had a really tough win. It was more luck than anything. Sinjin So had a good game against Deng Yifei. He just beat Deng Yifei 1-0.
This was definitely Shinjin So's most impressive performance of the Jia League so far. Not only his most impressive win, which it was. Deng Yifei is definitely his best victim of the 3 that he's won, but it was a dominating performance. He got a lead in the middle game and he never relinquished it.
Yeah. Now, the other interesting thing that happened this round is, you got your Kim Ji-sok coming back. He played Wang Chu-xuan. I believe Wang Chu-xuan is only one dan. It's like just made pro or something. He finally got a win.
Finally,
that's kind of as good as it got. And unfortunately for Li Weiqi, he after going 6 for 6, he's lost versus Tor Jiaxi, I do believe. So Tor is still has it. He's still doing his thing. So that means Chuzhou went 3-1, thanks to Tor's win, and Kim Ji-sok's win, and Chen Yunong's win. I think Chen Yunong definitely feels like he's very underrated at this point.
Wow, Chen Yu. Oh, you know what? Oh, wait. Yeah, Chen Yunong. Yeah, his rating definitely seems a little bit low. He beat Wang Jinghao. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I think last year Chen Yunong didn't have a great Jia League record, if I remember correctly. But this year, like, he's beating Wang Xinghao, is even though it's a fast game, but he's having some good results. So I think I expect his rating to get a massive uplift from this season.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the actually one thing that we have been forgetting to mention is a little bit of a forgotten hero, which is Mi Yuting. Now we'll see his record after the next round, but Mi Yuting, if you recall, beat Sinjin So in, I believe, round 2.
Round 2, that's right.
And after that, he hasn't won that many games in the main player spot. Let's put it this way. But despite that, his teammates keep winning, so it doesn't matter if he loses. So Jiang Su keeps on winning.
I believe in particular Chen Zhan.
Yeah.
Has only lost 1 game.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think a couple of his wins were a little bit lucky. Yeah. But a win's a win, and
win's a win.
And now that Li Weiqi has lost a game, that puts Chen Jian equal for the most wins.
Yeah. Um, uh, and of course, you see the Jiang Suni at the top of the table, but if you look at Miu Ting's records, are not that great. But anyway, that's round 7. Let's look at round 8.
Now round 8 is the final round in
For
the first stage of the Jia League, right?
Yep, correct. So that's the final round, and then round 9 to 13, I believe it's like a home and away series. I don't know if they're gonna hold it in one place again. It might be home and away. I'm not 100% sure, but let's see what happens. And then the third stage is also in Chengdu. That will be centralized again. But in this round, we have Kerje versus Ding Hao. Ding Hao, obviously, of course, is
Now
known
this
as
is
a
a,
bit of
this
a
is a yeah, this is a big matchup. Ke is obviously long time number 1 in China. Ding Hao used to be number 2.
yeah.
Not anymore, but he does have a he does have a quite enviable record against Ke. I think he has a winning record against Ke.
Uh, I, I, I don't remember whether it's the winning record, but I do believe he sometimes referred to the Kerje killer because I think at some point he had a streak of 4 wins versus Kerje, which is crazy.
Yes.
Now this game um, was quite interesting. So in the post game interview, Ding Hao just said Kerje had too optimistic of an assessment of the situation, and that's how he ended up losing. I want to show you 2 moments in the game, in the Kerje versus Ding Hao game. So Kerje is white, Ding Hao is black. So very early on, in this fight over here, I do believe that AI says, okay, firstly, I don't really understand this cut. Maybe it's doing something. I'm not really sure. But anyway, I don't think AI thinks this is terrible, but it does look a little bit like a strange kind of move to me. But anyway, just cut there. Okay, so Kerje got Atari, and Kerje decided to come out, and Ding Hao has played beautifully here to make a massive dumpling of Kerje. Right, so that's a little bit of dumpling here. So that's the first moment in the game. I do believe that by this point, Kerje is a little bit behind because just of the fact that he got made a dumpling over here, and his cutting stone, I don't know the purpose, but it's dead now. So I'm not really sure. I didn't watch the pro commentary. Just from looking at the game and how it feels. So then Kerje, I believe AI says that Kerje was behind for most of the game, and then I want to show you this beautiful moment where Ding Hao played a beautiful Yosei to basically kill off the game. It's coming up any moment now. So Ding Hao played here, and then look at this beautiful Yosei here. No way for white to cut it off. So it's all set up by this move first, and then bang, So I think at this point, as assessed by AI, I think Kerje was behind by 3.5 points or something. Yeah, but there's no way of capturing this black stone. So Kerje, it connects back as well. So yeah, but that's it. Kerje, another loss for Kerje. So after 8 rounds, Kerje have never won in the main player spot because I believe this is a main player game.
No, he did win
He won 1 game in the main player spot, and all his other games on the main player board are losses, and he's got a 4 out of 8 record, 50%, barely 50%. This is crazy.
That's quite shocking for Kerje. Yeah.
If you look at Kim Min-hyun, he's not doing so great. He got another loss again. Now Shin Jin-so took revenge over Zhou Ruiyang. Zhou Ruiyang, of course, is kind of past his prime.
Prime. Just a quick curiosity here.
Yeah.
Dang Yifei's LG Cup win was actually against Zhou Ruiyang.
Yeah.
And so Shin Jin-so played the 2 finalists
right
in a row.
Yeah.
But in this game, Shin Jin-so sort of ended up having a small lead, which he maintained. And although he was he made a few sort of overly aggressive moves in Yosei,
Right.
he won the game
Yeah.
quite comfortably. Yeah.
And was Joru Yang? Did Joru Yang have a positive record versus Shinjin So before the
Actually,
game?
that's right. Yeah, Zhou Yang had a two wins and one loss against Shinjin So before this game.
Yeah.
So that's another person off the list of people that have a positive record against Shinjin So.
Yeah. That list is shrinking. Um, so okay, so Joru Yang no longer has a winning record versus Shinjin So. And
And that wasn't a main player board game, was it?
I don't believe so because
No.
I wouldn't. I don't think Joru Yang would go on the main player board. So Shaker again is the main player. So they but they Shinjin probably couldn't have played the main player board anyway.
Oh
Because
yeah,
Shin
that's
Min
right.
Jun
Because
was there.
Shin Min Jun was the main player for their opponent,
Yeah.
and so you can't have two imports playing each other. Yeah.
But Hangzhou's getting into their groove, completely destroyed Ruzhou. So another good game. Now look at this result here. We talked about Chen Shen already. Chen Shen beat Li Jithun. And Li Jithun really isn't having a great Jia League. And we shall see a little bit about that. So that's all the 8 rounds. We covered, quite a few rounds in lightning pace. But let's look at the standing right now. So Hangzhou, the juggernaut, is on 19 points, so they're leading the league, together with Jiangsu. So you see Mi Yuting's record a bit later, but like Jiangsu has gotten to the top of the table not because of Mi Yuting. Let's put it this way, it's all his teammates, right? So so Jiangsu has a decent chance of winning the regular season league, and then of course Chengdu, your regular, your usual suspect. Rizhao is a bit of a surprise because they rank above Shenzhen, but Shenzhen, they after bringing in Park Junhwan and Ke just only managed to, come in 5th.
That's average of less than 2 points
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
That's for Shenzhen.
yeah,
That's really underperforming.
yeah. I think
I tipped them to win the regular season, by the way.
yeah. Well, I mean they're not not looking likely. But
No,
Hangzhou
they're not.
Dragon doing quite well. Yeah, mid table.
Yeah.
Um, so your relegation favorites, you got Shanghai Qingyi. This is a young team, no one older than 19, I guess. Almost certainly gonna get relegated. Kaifeng actually surprisingly doing better than Beijing. Beijing after trading away Ke and brought in Kim Ming Hyun is just struggling. So if Beijing
Yeah.
gets relegated, sad. All
And
right.
which team is Zhejiang? That's Iyama Yuta's team. They're sort of middle of the table.
Yeah, they're kind of mid table. They're probably not expected to. I do believe that before the season they said they wanted to get at least to number 8 and wanted to get into the top 6. Maybe they're on track for one of the targets, but maybe top 6, maybe not
Top
so
six is
much.
definitely possible.
Possible, yes.
They've done okay.
Yeah,
Um, I remember saying that it really all depended on how often Iyama Yuta could play. Well, he's only played twice and he's lost both,
yeah,
and they're still in the top 8.
yeah.
So,
So
so says how much I know.
yeah. Oh wow, it's not easy to predict these kind of things, I guess. All
Mm.
right, so I don't want to look at the top 10 upset because some of the young players their rating hasn't been updated, so it looks like it's a massive upset. But
It's really just Chen Yunong.
yeah, it's just
Actually,
Chen
Chen
Yunong.
Yunong against Mi Yuting that's a bit of an upset, and against Wang Xinghao as well.
Yeah,
I would say they're probably big upsets.
yeah. But once the his ratings get updated, it's probably not gonna be
Yeah,
here. He's got some big scalps, Wang Xinghao, Mi Yuting, Peng Liyao, of course. So definitely a very strong player. Definitely shouldn't be
yeah.
rated in the 3-1s. Okay, underperformers favorites.
And
Uh,
my one of my favorite players, Kim Ji Sok.
yeah,
I'm so sad.
right.
One win and 6 losses. That's he. Last year he started with 5 wins.
Yeah. Uh, it, it,
Although one of those he did misclick against Chen Yaoye, and
yeah.
Chen Yaoye
Let him redo. I think.
let him undo the move,
Yeah.
which is a pretty pro move from Chen Yaoye,
Yeah.
and Chen Yaoye ended up losing that game, by the way. So,
Yeah. It's a bit sad.
but
So
yeah, it's just disappointing to see Kim Ji Sok doing so, like struggling so much. He's a very experienced player.
Yeah,
He's a former Samsung Cup champion. He's won plenty of titles. He won the Maxim Cup last year.
yeah,
Like yeah, he's a very experienced player. He's played many seasons of Jia League, and to see him have a season like this is just
yeah,
not good.
yeah. I think Kang Dong Yun had some kind of similar kind of thing last year. But maybe at this point in the game, Kang would have maybe a couple of wins instead of one. But yeah, so Kim Ji Sok's underperformed by 3.5 games. So in looking at his opponent and looking at his skill level and his rating, he should have won maybe like 4 games, 5 games, but he's on one. So he's the worst underperformer. And Lee Jit Hoon's not doing so flash himself either. Yeah,
No,
also got
that's
one
a bit
win.
of that's a particular shame because Lee Ji Hoon is actually in the Asian Games team.
Yeah,
So he's had some good results this year. I mean, good enough to make the Asian Games team ahead of people like Kim Ji Sok and Kang Dong Yoon.
yeah,
And yeah, just he needs to he needs to find some form.
yeah, he does. Uh, so and another person in the top of the list. The top three are all occupied by Korean imports. So Kim Min Hyun brought
This
in.
one, this one, I also, I mean, I mean, they're all obviously disappointing, but
Yeah,
this one, this one is just as disappointing as Kim Ji Sok because Kim Young Hoon he's really had a sort of a breakout year this year.
yeah,
He's quite young. He's not too young. He's like 22,
25.
but
Is it?
no, he's 22.
Oh, 22.
Oh no, sorry, he's 24.
Yeah, I think he
He
was
was
born
born
in
in
the same year as Kerje.
he was born 98, I believe. Or
Okay.
maybe he was born in 97.
Yeah, I
I
thought it
can
was.
check, but it's one of those two.
Yeah,
But yeah, anyway, like he's really had a breakout year this year. He's played in a lot of international tournaments. He beat Shinjin So in the Weiqi Construction Cup. Yeah, he's won a lot of games. Um, I think he's also made the quarterfinals of the LG Cup,
yep,
and he almost beat. Like he had a good game against Koje in the Chunlan Cup. He
yep.
didn't win that one.
No,
I just checked. You're right. He is 25.
right.
But and I was hoping that he would get picked for Jia League this year.
Yeah,
Based on that form.
yeah,
And I'm glad that he did get picked for Jia League. But yeah, to only have 2 wins in eight rounds is
yeah.
quite disappointing. Yeah.
It's funny. I think it's a what's it called? A wake up call, or a reality check for
I
for
mean,
half the league
yeah.
is.
I mean, when you play Jia League, you're playing with the big boys.
Yeah,
Like there's of course the Korean Baduk League, which obviously Kim Jong Hoon competes in,
yeah,
but China has the most depth of any country, more depth than Korea,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Korea may have the best player,
yeah,
but that's just one person, right?
Yeah.
You've got Shin Jin So, Park Jun Hwan, and Yoon Sang Il,
yeah,
and then, but China have like 10 players that are better than everyone else in Korea.
yeah,
It seems like.
yeah,
So, I mean, yeah, when you're playing in the Jia League, you're playing games almost every day, and they're always against someone strong.
yeah,
Very different beast to the Korean League, where you're playing against the best Korean players for sure,
yeah,
but it's really not the same sort of intense like depth as the Jia League. And in the Korean League, you're playing one match a week.
yeah,
So, yeah, he's having his trial by fire moment, I guess.
yeah,
And so far he hasn't figured it out. I'm really hoping that now there's a bit of a break. He's finally sort of got his first experience with Jia League. I believe this is his first season in Jia League.
right. And his team Beijing is.
No, wait,
struggling.
no, actually, no, sorry, this isn't his first season in Jia League. We mentioned this before that he was in Jia League 2 years ago.
Right, right.
So Yeah, he should really know better.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh well.
oh well.
Um, he'll figure it out. He'll figure
Yeah.
it out. He's a good player. Like good players always eventually figure it out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, hopefully he picks it up soon. I mean, Kim Ji Sok's, like we've said, has been in several Jia leagues, and it's not like he's 40 years old and has forgotten how to play. He's still a very very good player.
Yeah.
He just had a bad week, and I guess Kim Young Hoon is having a bad week as well.
Yeah. Um, so, but I don't think Kim feels too bad about himself because hot on his heels is Koji. So also underperforming
So
massively.
imagine that Koji in the top five underperformers.
Yeah.
I mean, he was never. I mean, actually, I think last year he actually made the top 10 overperformers, and
Yeah.
this is based on rating and expected wins. So
Yeah.
for someone like Koji to be in the top 10 overperformers was quite
Yeah.
incredible. But now he's in the top five underperformers.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a bit of a shock, and I guess you know maybe one of the biggest indicators that Koji perhaps is not spending as much time on Go every day as he used to be.
Yeah. I mean, and his early games up to middle game is still quite good, but it's like at the near the end, he's like lose concentration or whatever. Play some stuff that's just he makes the wrong choices. So I don't know what's happening. But anyway, Koje is a notable, very very notable top 10 underperformer, unfortunately. And then further down the list, we have Xu Hao Hong,
Yeah, Xu
collecting
Hao
zero.
Hong, the only Taiwanese player,
Yeah,
and he didn't have a brilliant Jia League
yeah.
last year. He did have a losing record last year. I'm just quickly checking what his record was
It might have been
last season. It was
50-50.
5-6.
You're right, right.
5-6. So
Yeah,
not great,
yeah,
but not a disaster.
yeah.
Here he's only played 3 games and he hasn't won any of them.
No, so that's a bit of a surprise. So yeah, that's not good. Now Lin Xiao is in a similar spot to where he was last year. I mean, he's kind of
Well, where he was
early.
last year, he was at the very top of the underperformers list, I believe.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Lin Xiao tends to kind of struggle in the Jia League for some reason. Even though on paper he should be like a top 10 player in China, but he's just not doing it. Yeah, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean in spite of that, his team's still doing well.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I mean, Hangzhou's top of the table. Lianzhou's top 10 underperformer, and Xinjin So hasn't had a great Jia League so far.
yeah, right, yeah,
And yet Hangzhou is still top of the table. It shows you how well Li Qingcheng and Sheke have performed.
absolutely. So that's a bit of the underperformers for the first 8 rounds. Now for the overperformers, like let's quickly have a look. Chen Shen we talked about. He's only expected to. He played in all rounds. He's expected to win maybe half his games, but he's won 7, so it's done
Yeah,
really
he's
well.
definitely the biggest overperformer
Yeah.
so far,
So
for sure.
Chen Yunong, we talked about this. He's got some big scalps, so he's expected to win nothing based on his rating. But obviously that will be adjusted, when his rating gets updated. And of course you got your 3 Lees, Li Ching Cheng, doing quite well. Li Wei Ching, of course. Li Wei Ching is probably have a tougher than Li Ching Cheng because all his wins came from the main player spot. So
Yeah, Li
pretty
Qingcheng has played 0 main player games.
yeah. So Li Wei Ching is doing quite well. Now Ye Changxing is worth a mention. I believe he's very very young, something like 15, 16, and I believe it might be one of his first or second Jia League experience. He's already collected 4 wins out of 7, so might be a player to watch in the future. A little bit of a resurgence for the oldies. So Jiang Weijie and Xiao Hao are doing a bit better than what their rating would suggest. Maybe
I
they're
would
just
I would suggest that they're underrated. I
a
would
bit
suggest that their
underrated.
rating is perhaps not reflective
Yeah, their strength.
of them, but still they're doing. Yeah, they're doing okay. They're having fine tournaments.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just wouldn't consider them to be overperforming.
yeah, yeah. Maybe they just had a bad patch for 3 months and they just rating just plummeted.
Yeah, and
But
that can happen with
yeah.
Go ratings. Yeah.
So you got Deng Yifei and you got your Zhou Ruiyang. It's they're doing quite
Yeah,
well.
Deng Yifei, 6 out of 8. That's quite good. And I don't want to bring Shinjin So into everything, but
Yeah.
I mean it shows again his win against Deng Yifei was Shinjin So's most impressive win.
Yeah.
Not just because it's Deng Yifei, but because
Yeah.
it's clearly informed Deng Yifei as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if my data is correct, there's actually one person with a perfect record so far, Xue Guanghua. I might be a very young player. I'm not.
And he's not even like he's a reserve. He's only played one game.
Right.
And
So, yes.
yeah, so it was, and I don't know who it was against. It probably wasn't against someone like, someone like Byun Sang-il or something like that.
Yeah. Not quite
But
sure.
good for him. He's the only person that hasn't had a bad day.
Yeah. And then on the near perfect records, so 7 out of 8, you got your 3 Lees: Li Xuanhao, Li Weiqing, Li Qingcheng, and of course Chen Shen we talked about. Now you know that Li Xuanhao, even after getting 7 out of 8, he didn't make any of the top performer spots because his rating is quite high, and he doesn't play in the main player spot all that often because Yang Dingxin sometimes goes there, so maybe he's not considered to have overperformed even despite doing 7 out of 8. So that's it.
Wait, can you I want to mention some other strong performers. So Fan Tingyu,
Yep.
he had to take a couple of rounds off for
Yep.
illness checks or whatever.
Yeah.
The COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
5 out of 6. We
Yeah.
mentioned that I think the two best performers for China in the first half of 2022 were Li Junhao and Fan Tingyu.
Yeah.
And they've continued their 2022 form into the Jia League quite clearly.
Yep.
Park Junwan has been once again a solid import for his team, 6 out of 8.
Yep.
And Kang Dong Yoon has had a complete reversal of last year.
Yep.
6 from 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really big stuff. Sheke, I mentioned that Sheke was carrying Hangzhou along with Li Qingcheng.
Yeah.
6 from 8, and many of those wins were on the main player board.
Yeah.
He's had some very, very strong wins. I think he actually beat Li Junhao. I think he was Li Junhao's the only person that Li Junhao has lost to.
Right. Yeah. So done
And
well.
check out the veteran Chen Yaoye.
Yay.
As
6
well.
out of 8. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Done pretty well. Yeah, so that's it. The full table is there for all to browse. Of course, down to your bottom, you have your Xu Hao Hong, Yamayuta at 0.
Check out, and unfortunately we've got Wang Ziyu who's played 7 rounds and hasn't won any of them.
Yeah, he might just be too young, too simple, sometimes naive.
Bit tough.
Yeah, let's see. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the rounds, but that's a wrap for the first 8 rounds of Jia League this year. Let's finish it off by checking out the round 8 picks. Sinjin So taking a nap there. What's going on? Chen Yaoye. Sometimes wearing a mask versus Ding Hao. I don't know why. Oh, he's wearing the same thing.
At least he's not. At least he's covering up that orange jumpsuit.
Yeah. Oh wow. You got your Lin Xiao, Jiang Weijie, Wang Xinghao over here.
Is that Wang Xinghao?
There's Wang Xinghao. Yeah. Li Xuanhao versus To Jiaxi.
Or Jiaxi, yeah.
That's Rong Yi, by the way, and that's Jing Yucheng. This is a young player to watch.
Oh yeah, Jing Yucheng.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
He's even younger than Wang Xinghao.
Right, yeah. He's going to be in the same class as Wang Xinghao and Tu Xiaoyu and all that. Okay, Gu Lingyi. Ke not having a great season so far by his standards. Ding Hao. Zhou Ruiyang. All right, that's it. So that's a wrap for the Jia League. So, shall we move continents to the US? US of A or North America, whichever it is. We have the US Go Congress going on, and within that Go Congress they have this Actually, I don't know what exactly is the official name. Sometimes I see U.S. Open Masters. Sometimes I see North American Open Masters or something. So it's one of the two. It's either US or North American. Okay, I do believe they have some Canadian players playing in here. So it's meant to be, what it's meant to be is the Open Masters. It's an open, but it's only open to really, really strong players, I believe. So you got to be either pro or like really strong. Like you basically got to be invited to be in this tournament. So if you look at the field, it's got some very young players, strong players. Han is a 5 dan from China. So and then you got your
Andy Liu. Andy
Andy
Liu was one of
Liu.
the very first North American pros.
Yeah, so he was 1P, I believe he's still. And you got your Alex Chi, the new pro. And further down the list, see if anyone else.
Eric Yoda was the immortal ladder break
game. Yeah.
in
so,
the
yeah.
pro qualifier, and was Yixan Zhou one
Yeah.
of the participants as well? I'm not sure.
I honestly can't remember.
These guys are probably all legends in the North American go scene.
Yeah,
To be honest, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're really, really strong to start with.
Yeah, these guys are probably all 6. If they're not pros, they're like 6 dan at least amateur.
Yeah, and an American ranking system it's of course like the European one. It's statistical based, so it's actually really, really tough to get like 5 dan and that. It's actually really, really hard. It's almost like achieving like IM or GM status in chess, this kind of thing. But I believe it's played over 7 rounds, and surprise, Han, the 5 dan pro from China, actually won the comp. Now there's some misreporting on Pro Weiqi about it. So this is Han over here, holding up the check and the cup, and then the trophy. He won the competition 7-0. And there was something. There was misreported on Pro Weiqi, but it was reported on the AGA website correctly. I do believe, and I believe it happened in the game between Han and Alex Chi. So what's happened was apparently Han called the referee over and in Mandarin spoke to the referee and says something about wanting to check Alex Chi's glasses because they were quite thick, and just to check if it's computerized and prevent any kind of cheating from happening. And what's strange about this was that the referees inspected Alex Chi's glasses, but then they also handed the glasses to Han. So Han had himself inspected the glasses. Now this is a bit of an irregular activity because a player is not meant to play the role of checking if your opponent is cheating.
There's obvious bias there.
Yeah, obviously it should be the job of the referee or whoever is running the tournament. And I do believe they talked to Michael Redmond in one of the live streams, and Michael Redmond had kind of raised his opinion about that as well. So that's a bit of an irregularity there that they had.
That can also be quite off-putting for your opponent.
100%. So
like that almost could be considered a form of gamesmanship.
Yeah.
Where you don't actually suspect that your opponent's cheating, but you're doing it just to put them off.
Yeah, I mean that could definitely be something that you can imagine someone doing. So I'm not saying obviously obviously none of us are there, so we don't have first-hand resource on what's happened, but as best as I can tell from reading the reports and watching the live stream, that's kind of the story that I gather. I'm not 100% sure if I got all the details 100% correct, so do leave a comment if you do know what's happened. But yeah, that was a bit of a side story there. And I believe Michael Redmond's stream, hopefully it was saved down, or maybe not because it was on Twitch, so it might get deleted or something. But Michael Redmond did mention that, so for those who are really interested, could probably dig up the dig up what Michael Redmond has said about this in the live stream. But so congrats to Han for winning. Now, did it surprise you, Gaza, that Alex Chi, after round 6, has only achieved 3-3?
Well, it really depends on who he's played.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough field.
Yeah.
He's obviously played Han,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just it's a tough field.
Yeah.
There's not many players that have. There were only 2 players that had more than 4 wins.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, maybe he should have won it. Maybe he should have won against all of the amateurs.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah.
I'm really not sure what the format is for this tournament. I presume it's not a fast tournament.
7 rounds of I'm not 100% sure.
Because if it's fast time controls, then that
Yeah.
can sort of make things a little bit more random.
Yeah.
But well, who knows? I mean, he didn't. 3-3 is.
It's not.
He's probably not satisfied with that, but we'll see. He's still very, very young.
Yeah. And of course, if you look at bottom of the ladder, Eric was on 1-5 out of the 6 rounds. Eric Yoda. So he didn't quite make pro this year, but so.
Well, I guess that's another indication of just how hard this tournament is. That Eric Yoda, who was, I believe, one round away from turning pro, is struggling so hard in this field. It must be a tough field.
Yep, 100%. Okay, so that's the US Open Masters, won by Han over there. And let's just do a little bit of coverage of the Women's Yi League. So we mentioned this multiple times, but Yi basically just they use it in China to indicate the second division. Jia is the first. So Yi League, 2021 Yi League is happening right now, and a few rounds have been
This
played.
is specifically the Women's Yi League.
The Women's Yi League, yes.
So the women's second division, yes.
And they allow imports in this one. So they have a few very interesting imports. Of course, your usual suspects. I'm not sure why Choi Jong doesn't play in the Jia League or Women's Jia League, but plays in the Yi League.
This I wanted to elaborate on. So as you said, there's the Women's Jia League, which is the top league for women.
Yeah.
And all of the top Chinese women play in that.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Women's Yi League. Now, Choi Jong has never played in the Women's Jia League.
Right.
Never. And she's considered by many to be the best women's player in the world.
Right.
Right? And has been, one of the top 3 women's players in the world for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
She's played in the Women's Yi League since 2016. This is her 6th season in the Women's Yi League.
Right.
And that's just weird. That would be like if Shin Jin So played in the Yi League instead of the Jia League.
Yeah.
Now, I really don't know why that's the case. Why Choi Jong is playing in the Women's Yi League and not the Women's Jia League. But as you mentioned to me before, the Women's Yi League is actually played all at once. It's played in basically a fortnight.
Yeah.
It's usually historically it's been in the middle of June. Pre-COVID, pre-pandemic, it was held in the middle of June.
Mm-hmm.
But they've I think in 2020 it was held in November, maybe, and then in 2021 it was held. Well, it's been held now in August the following year.
Yeah.
The Women's Jia League is not held in a single month or whatever. It's held over. It's structured.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that because Choi Jong plays in so many other leagues, like she plays in the Korean Baduk League, which no other woman does because none of the other women are strong enough to play in the Korean Baduk League. So because of all of her commitments in open tournaments, she may just not be able to commit herself to a Women's Jia League.
Right.
because she doesn't know if she might be able to play the games in June, but she doesn't know if she'll be able to play the games in October or December
Yeah.
because she doesn't know what she's going to be committed to by then. And I believe that the Korean Baduk League will be taking place at that point.
Yeah.
Still, I find it weird that she plays in the Women's Year League instead of just not bothering to play at all, because she doesn't her opponents are not of her caliber. Like, I'm not being disrespectful, but I think she's played 36 or 37 games in her career in the Women's Year League, and she's only lost once, and that was to another Korean.
Yeah.
So she's, I'm gonna see if I can quickly check, but in 2016 she lost to Park Ji Yeon.
Yeah.
And she hasn't lost another game in the Women's Year League since then, and she's played in every Women's Year League.
Yeah. Now, okay, so I'm not sure what really happens, but I do believe, for example, Lee Isedo, he used to play in the E League in China.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So maybe and some teams, like maybe I think back in their heyday, Hong Kong used to have a team in the E League. So Hong Kong, I believe the team name was called Hong Kong New World or something. Now they were special, and because they had 2 Korean players in their team. Now you know that most teams in the leagues in China, they only allow 1 import, but because they were Hong Kong, they were allowed 2 imports. So they had Cho Han Hyun and I believe Choi Ming Hyun in the team. So
that's a blast from the past.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. But now, it's like maybe strong players just play in the E League because it's compressed and they just get make some quick bucks over there. So maybe that's the reason. Not sure, but yeah, it is a bit strange that Choi Jong plays in the E League only, and she's just cleaned up. Now, not all the E League Kifus are mentioned. Like Gaza, while you're digging up the any info that you wanted, I just wanted to mention a few things about the E League. Now, firstly, of course, we have Choi Jong playing in it, and a couple of other Korean imports playing in it. And of course, from Japan, you have Nakamura Sumire and New Aiko playing in the E League. So that's quite interesting.
Yeah, I did want to mention Nakamura Sumire. Of course, she's the prodigy that everyone's been talking about for a few years, and I believe this is her first experience in the Yi League. I could be wrong. She may have played in the Yi League before.
No, she might be too young for that. I'm not sure. I from memory, this is her first, but
I imagine this is probably her first because she would have been like 11.
Yeah.
When the Year League was held in, I think it was November, actually, 2020. So, but she won her first 2 games.
Yep.
Her second game was actually against her fellow Japanese player, New Aiko.
Yeah.
So it was basically a rematch of the domestic Senko Cup final.
Yep.
Although, interestingly enough, they didn't actually play over the board. They played on computers in separate rooms.
Right, yeah.
And this time, I guess Nakamura Sumire got revenge by beating New Aiko.
Yeah.
So she got the win for her team.
Yeah.
But in the 3rd round, which was today, she played a bit of a veteran, Kao Yu Yin.
Yep.
I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But she's actually a former Women's Jia League player.
Right.
So she's a bit of a veteran. She's about 35, I think.
Right.
And Kao Yu Yin, her experience proved too much for Nakamura Sumire.
Yeah.
But still, she's so far in 3 rounds. She's 2 wins, 1 loss. That's not so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sumire is doing really well in the E League. So I want to see Sumire play in the Jia League. Women's Jia League at least.
I've always said that having these Japanese players play in these leagues is going to benefit Japanese Go.
Yeah.
This is going to be great for Sumire's growth. I mean, she's already proving that she can prove herself against 1-dan, 2-dan players in China. But to put another perspective on it, Sumire is already sort of unanimously considered a top 10 women's player in Japan.
Oh yeah, some would say top 4, top 5.
Yeah, and these players aren't the players she's playing against aren't even top 20 in China.
No.
In for women, and so although I still think these are good games for Sumire and they're still competitive.
Yeah.
It says a lot about the depth of Japanese women's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really quite shallow, especially compared to China.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but the other thing I wanted to mention was that Team Taiwan also put up a team, and you recognize this name, Lu Yuhua. Of course, she's has some great results in international tournaments. But what surprised me was that she lost in the very first round to Chao Yuyin, but her teammates won. So it's so in the women's league it's 3 boards. I think it's just best of 3. So Team Taiwan still won the first match. In the second round, she lost again. This time probably to a not so famous player because even her name's not even listed. She lost again. But her teammates also all won. So her teammates are like, I believe, Bai Xinghui and Yu Lijun. So Team Taiwan also won again. And today she lost to Oh Jong-ah.
That's a Korean player, Oh Jong-ah.
Oh Jong-ah. And unfortunately, only one of her teammates won. Yu Lijun won. So yeah, Team Taiwan. This is Team Taiwan's first loss. So it's quite interesting that Lu Yuhua, despite being an international competition finalist, almost made the is it quarterfinal or semi-final of the Wu Qingyuan Cup. He kind of struggled.
He made the final of the Senko Cup.
Yeah. And yeah, he did quite well in the Wu Qingyuan Cup, and but she kind of just struggled in the Jia League so far. So
yeah, a bit of a surprise, bit of a disappointment.
Yeah,
so far, but there's still a few rounds yet to be played. Hopefully, she can rack up some wins.
Yeah. So let's the one last topic that I really wanted to cover, Gaza, and unless you wanted to cover more stuff, is the Kuksu Mountain Cup draw. And the Kuksu Mountain
Oh yeah, we have to mention that. So what's the Kuksu Mountain Cup?
The Kuksu Mountain Cup is an international, I believe, invitational tournament. So it's got players from China, Japan, and Korea participating,
and
Taiwan. But it's not considered a major.
Yeah, there's a bit of a debate on that, but I don't think there's really no sort of strict definition as to what a world major is, because it doesn't mean as much. In tennis, you have the 4 majors, but those majors, I mean, those majors also are accompanied by ranking points.
Yeah.
And your ranking in tennis sort of does give you benefits like seedings in tournaments and stuff. So there's an obvious way to determine what the majors are in tennis. In Go, it really doesn't matter what's considered a major or not, because it's just, in the end of the day, a title's a title.
Yeah.
But I like to separate sort of the world majors from sort of the lesser tournaments. And as far as I can see, the Korean Baduk Association considers the Kuksu Mountains Cup, which is a Korean hosted tournament, not to be a world major.
Right.
Because when they have their lists of players with the most majors,
yeah,
they don't include wins in that tournament.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that Koje has never participated in the Kuksu Mountains International.
Yeah.
And if a player like Koje is not participating in it, that probably means he doesn't consider it a world major.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean that really also convinces me as well. Yeah. But it is still a very, it's still a significant tournament. It's got a 50 million won first prize.
Yep.
And of course, the people that do participate in it want to win it.
Yeah.
And the participants here are very strong. You've got Shin Jin So, Park Jun Wan. You've got the reigning champion Byun Sang Il.
Yeah. Who beat Park Sinjin So in the final last
He
year?
beat Shin Jin So in the final.
Yeah.
It's also one other thing to mention is it's a very condensed tournament. There's 16 players, and it's every round is knockout.
Yeah.
There are 4 rounds, and the whole tournament is played over 3 days. So they actually play the first and second round on the same day.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
So it's a very fast tournament.
yeah, so I think that I'm not sure if the time limits are like 1 hour or if it's 45 minutes. I can check. But yeah, the tournament does start tomorrow. So the first 2 rounds will both be played tomorrow. And yeah, it's like I said, even though Koje is not in it, it's still apart from him, it's a pretty big, pretty stacked field.
Yeah. So let's look at some pictures and go through who's in it. Like look, this is the Zoom meeting that they have, where they did the draw. It's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So I think they have 8 seeds, and these guys are drawn against the 8 seeds. So we got Zhao Chen Yu over here, Yama Yuta, Xu
Actually,
yeah.
it's not 8 seeds. I don't think it's 8 seeds, but it's
Right.
8 Koreans.
All right, is that right? Okay.
So there's 16 players and there's 8 Koreans, and I think they just set up the draw so that Koreans didn't play each other.
Right. That makes sense. Okay, and then you got Ichiriki. I really don't know who this guy is. And you got Ding Hao. Oh, so this is Taiwan. So this is Chen Xiyuan and this is Wang Yunjun.
So that has to be Lai Junfu then.
Yeah, they could
player you can't see because those 8 players would be all of the 8 non-Korean players.
Right, and this is Mi Yu Ting, and this is what I consider to be quite comical. They're just holding a piece of paper with the letter, in it.
And that's not even printed. That's like drawn with a pen.
Yeah, it's like God knows how they did the draw, but I believe it's kind of streamed. But anyway, I really don't know what's happened. But he's drawn. So Mi Yu Ting's drawn C over here. Ding Hao's got H. Zhao Chen's got E, so God knows what's happening. And this is the part where the Korean players had the draw. Maybe I'm really not sure. But
wait, was that Byun Sang Il wearing like a referee's shirt?
Yeah,
looks like he's wearing a referee's shirt for like a wrestling match or something.
Yeah, about basketball or whatever it was. Yeah, that's Byun Sang over here.
That's brilliant, and he's the reigning champion, by the way.
Reigning champion. So this is a Chinese contingent.
Yeah, this is a strong contingent. Zhao Chen Yu is a 2-time semi-finalist.
Yeah.
Mi Yu Ting is a 2-time M Lily Cup champion.
Yeah.
Ding Hao is got a handful of domestic titles.
Yeah. Yeah. Former Chinese number 2. Yep. That's them. So the draws today, first 2 rounds. Let's quickly look at the draw. Apologies, we haven't had the time to make them, but I'll just read them out. Okay, from left to right. So you got Mi Yu Ting drawn against Sin Jin So. So this is a Sin Jin So chance to exact revenge on.
I gotta say, that's a tough matchup for both players in the first round of this.
Yeah.
Mi Yu Ting could easily beat Shin Jin So in this, and I just checked the time controls are. It looks like it's 60 minutes.
Yeah.
5 1-minute byoyomis, I believe.
Right. So it's not that fast, like Nongshim Cup kind of thing.
Yeah, Nongshim Cup is 60 minutes as well, but Nongshim Cup has 1 byoyomi of 1 minute.
Right.
I'll just. Oh no, sorry. Actually, no, my mistake. This also is 1 60-second byoyomi. It's the same time controls as Nongshim Cup. It's the exact same time controls. And we all remember what happened between Mi Yu Ting and Shin Jin So in the Nongshim Cup this year.
Classic.
So.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
This could Shin Jin So could easily be knocked out in the first round.
Yeah, it could happen. Or I wonder what would happen if they do another, uh, another thing where they go the software's faults, couldn't click on
Oh,
things.
another,
Yeah,
and yeah, I hope we don't see that again.
yeah. Hope we don't see that. I do believe the CWA has said that they should just resolve technical issues technically. So it just basically means, yeah, if you didn't click in time, you didn't click in time. That's it. There's a risk
Yeah.
to clicking at the last second. But anyway, so then we got Kim Ji-sok versus Yamauta. I do believe Kim Ji-sok knocked Yamauta out of the first round of some comp. Might have in the Chunnan Cup, so a
It
chance for
was, I believe it was the Chunlan Cup, and
right.
yeah, just the yeah again a Yamauta in international majors at least, he hasn't won a game in many years.
Right.
This isn't talking about things like the Nongshim Cup. We're talking about individual
Yeah.
international competitions, and
Yeah.
he hasn't won for quite a while. I'm not sure if he's ever participated in the Kuksu Mountains tournament
I
before.
believe he has. I think he lost in the first round last time as well, if I remember
He didn't.
correctly.
He definitely didn't play last year.
Right. Right.
I'm just quickly checking.
Right.
Oh yeah, so he did play 2 years ago, and who did he play? He played Byun Sang-il, lost to
Yeah.
Byun Sang-il.
Yeah. Okay. And then the third draw is Zhao Chenyu versus Kim Min Hyun. So arguably the the no, it's not. So Zhao Chenyu and Kim Min Hyun, so a good matchup. So let's see what's
That'll
going to
be a
happen
good matchup. Yeah.
there. Yeah. And then you got Ichiriki versus Park Jun Hwan.
Now this one's you would usually pick Park Chun-wan here.
Yeah.
Uh, Ichiriki's had a bit of a shocking run of form lately,
Yeah.
but this is 1 hour.
Yeah.
Ichiriki's not that bad at the fast time controls.
Right.
Um,
So
I would still consider Park Chung-wan to be the favorite here, but Ichiriki has a chance. He has a
yeah.
chance.
And then you got your Lai Junfu versus Wang Songjin. I do believe Lai Junfu played in the Globus Cup.
Oh, okay, so he's very young.
Yeah. So one of the young players. Wang Songjin already out of the Korean top 10. So I mean, Lai I guess could have a chance here, but
His form's not nearly as bad as it was earlier in the year,
right.
but not to be harsh on either of them, but I don't consider either of these guys to be contenders for the overall title. So
Yeah. The next matchup is Wang Yuanjun versus Kang Dong-yun. So probably a bit tough for Wang because
that's
Kang's
going to be tough for Wang, especially with Kang Dong-yoon's form.
yeah,
He's already shown in the Weiqi Construction Cup and the Yongseong
yeah,
that he can handle these sorts of time controls.
yeah,
Actually, those were super fast time controls.
yeah,
This he's got an hour of main time, so
yeah,
I still can it's hard to go past Kang Dong Yoon in that matchup.
yeah. And the next one is you've got your Xu Chaoyuan versus Shin Min Jun.
I'm actually gonna say I'm gonna pick Su Shawan in that one.
Yeah,
Shin Min Jun has had good form recently.
yeah,
Um, but I think Shin Min Jun's forte is in the longer games,
right, yeah,
and Su Shawan's my favorite Japanese player.
right,
Um, I just want to see him. I just want to see him do well in internationally. I know he can. I know he can beat. He can beat strong players.
yeah,
So maybe I just want Su Shawan to win more.
yeah,
But I do think that he can pull it off against Shin Min Jun.
yeah. Shin Min Jun would be a bit erratic, but let's see. And the last matchup, definitely not least, we got Ding Hao versus Byung Sang-il, another good one.
I mean, along with Shin Jin So versus Miyu Ting, this is a huge game. This is basically two of the favorites. Byun Sang-il actually he won, as we said, he won the title last year.
Yeah,
And Ding Hao, he's probably the strongest Chinese player out of the three
yeah,
in this field. Yeah, what a first round matchup. Like to have one of those two players not make it to the quarterfinals
Yeah.
is pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's set up to be a cracker of a weekend for Kuksu Mountain Cup.
Yeah, an interesting point to make is
Yeah.
that unlike the Chunlan Cup and the LG Cup,
Yeah.
the tournament is not the draw is not redone after
Yeah.
every round.
Yes.
It's a fixed draw.
Yeah.
Presumably, I mean, like I said, the tournament's condensed into 3 days. They may just not have enough time to do a redraw every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just a fixed draw. So we know that if Ayama wins and Shinjin So wins,
Yeah.
they'll play each other in the quarterfinals.
Yeah. And
What a
yeah.
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And if Shinjin So wants to get revenge
yeah.
on Byun Sang-il,
Yeah.
he can only do it in the final.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And Sun Jin So is in the same half as Park Jun Hwan. So yeah, tough.
He's in the same half as Park Chun-wan, but
Yeah.
well, we'll see if they they both have to win 2 games to get there. I would say that Shin Jin-so is the favorite to win this tournament. Sure, he's the favorite to win any tournament that he's in.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. I don't know if he's going. I'm not sure if he's going to win this. His form has been a little bit erratic.
Yeah.
This week. I think that someone else other than Shin Jin-so will win this. Mind you, Shin Jin-so has never actually won this tournament.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
He got so close last year, only to fall short in the final.
Yeah.
But although he's still the most likely person to win, I'm tipping that someone else wins it.
Yeah. All right. So it's probably more likely than not. Okay. So that's the Kuksu Mountains Cup. Now I don't have any other topics I wanted to cover. Gaza, do you have anything else you wanted to cover this week?
I just want to have one thing that I want to mention at the end of this.
Yeah.
It's pretty frivolous, but I did want to point out. So the Kisei, as we mentioned, Ichiriki Ryo won the Kisei.
Yeah.
But they basically start the qualifiers and the leagues and stuff for the following Kisei before the finals even finished.
Yeah.
So the Kisei leagues have been well underway, and the top league in Kisei is the S League.
Yes.
And the S League has there are 4 leagues in Kisei: S League, A League, B League, and C League.
Yes.
And the winners of each league have a chance to become the challenger for the title.
Yes.
Through a stepladder format.
Yeah.
But S League has the added advantage that second place also goes into the stepladder format.
Correct. Yes.
So getting to S League is the definitely the most prestigious league, and it's definitely the league everyone wants to get into.
Yeah.
Now, to get into S League, you have to either already be in S League or you have to be top 2 of A League.
Yeah.
Now, it's already been determined who's going to win A League. That's the veteran Yamashita Keigo.
Yeah.
He's already got enough wins to win A League.
Yeah.
And so not only will he be in the stepladder challenger final.
Yeah.
But he's also going to be in S League next year.
Nice.
So he's going to get promoted to S League next year.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, this is sort of breaking news, that second place in the A League has also been determined.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the legendary, the one and only Kono Rin.
Ah, Kono Rin.
As you know, we are big fans of Kono Rin here at the Pro Go Baduk Weiqi.
Yeah.
And he has come second in A League in typical Kono Rin fashion with 4 wins and 3 losses. And that's enough to get him second in A League, and he is going to go back to S League next year.
Oh my god. And I my prediction is he's going to get a 3-2 record in the S League and challenge again for the Kisei. And he has 0 chance. He's done it like twice in a row, you know. That's why.
He
That's
did
why
challenge for the Kisei twice in a row, yes.
That's why I'm not a big fan of Conor Rin. He just gets does the bare minimum, and gets to become a Kisei challenger, and then does nothing. And it's just like, I want to see Shibano. I want to see Shu. I want to see Ichiki challenging, or Yama Yuta challenging.
Well,
Not Conor.
Ichiriki can't challenge because he is the current Kisei.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
But yes, Conor Rin won't be able to challenge this year because, as I said, only first place in A League is able to enter the Challenger tournament.
Thank God. Yeah.
But Conor Rin will be entering S League next year, where he only needs to finish top 2.
Yes, to have a chance, but
But big congratulations to Conor Rin. He's had a tough past 12 months.
Right.
He lost last year. He was in S League and he lost all of his games.
Right.
So that's why he was in A League in the first place. But maybe he had a bit of good fortune with other players not getting good results in A League. But who knows? Maybe he's going to find a bit of resurgence and and challenge for the Kisei yet again.
Yeah. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. So that's your Conor Rin story of the week. And then this is the calendar, right? We talked about the calendar, which is the Kuksu Mountains Cup coming up in the weekend. I do believe there's a couple of and also the Chuzhou Lanka Cup International is finally going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. And the prelim is scheduled to take place next week. I think the prelim for all countries where it applies.
All countries, okay. Yeah. I can tell you that the Korean prelim has not been the format. The draw hasn't yet been made available on the KBO website, but I'll keep checking.
Yeah, and definitely the Chinese prelim tournament is happening next week. So then we'll figure out who makes it to the Chuzhou Lanka Cup International rep for China. Of course, we already know one participant, and that's the winner of the domestic version of Chuzhou Lanka Cup. That's Li Xuanhao. So let's see.
I can guarantee that Koje will also be picked.
He might still get a seed, despite his
he'll get a seed for sure.
Jia League record, but let's see. And of course, we have I do believe there is the GS Caltex Cup final.
Yes, that was actually scheduled to take place 1 or 2 weeks ago, but with the sudden announcement of the Jia League, the KBA, as it's extremely capable of doing, rescheduled their rescheduled their tournaments. I say this rather dryly because the KBA is more than willing to reschedule their domestic majors, even the finals, when big tournaments suddenly get put on the calendar, whereas the Nihon Kiin, or the Japanese Go Association, are far more rigid with their scheduling. Mind you, their majors have a lot more sponsorship, a lot more prize money.
Yeah.
So they're probably a little bit more bending to the will of the sponsors.
Yeah, 100%.
In those cases.
Yeah.
Which prevents their top players from participating in international competition.
Yeah.
Whereas on the other hand, I think the Korean players, for them, the international competition is like the pinnacle.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And also, of course...
But the GS Caltex Cup, a rematch of last year's final, Byun Sang-il versus Shinjin So. It's a best of 5. First 2 games will be next week. Should be good.
Yeah, definitely we'll be covering that. And of course, the women's Honninbo's Challenger semi-final, Ueno Asami, Nakamura Sumire, another one to look forward to.
Yeah,
so going to be another cracker week of Go next week. So looking forward to it. All right.
Yep.
That's a wrap for episode 18. Thanks, Gaza, again.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time. Bye.